Conservative Media peeps, what's up? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion and the MMA expert. Hey, we're talking about this UFC Interim Welterweight Championship fight between Nick Diaz and Carlos Condit. Now, this is very interesting right here. There's a lot of different things going on in my personal opinion. First of all my personal opinion only. I'm not alleging facts, not casting aspersions, all for entertainment and parody purposes only. Please check disclaimers. Okay, dudes, I can break this down in many, many ways, but I'm just going to get straight to it. Bottom line for me is I think that Nick Diaz is going to win. I think over 5 rounds. That super cardio that Nick has and that boxing is going to be the decisive factor. But man, I tell you what, this is a super close fight. And all the 209 fans out there, hold on a second. You need to give Condit some respect. And also put things in perspective. So let's talk about this in a global sense right here. Now, what does Condit have going for him? Condit has a lot going for him. You look at that record. You look at the fact that he's a WEC champion. You look at the fact that he has great kicks, that he has a full range of skill set. There's no real serious holes there except for maybe like doesn't have the super wrestling. Okay, fine. But that's the same really that you can say for Nick Diaz, okay? And so I think if you look at this thing, there's a couple things I want you to think about. Nick Diaz, when he was in the UFC way before, wasn't the greatest record, okay? And so he's been on a super streak. That's great. And yes, he beat BJ Penn. But remember, like, dude, BJ Penn was pretty much kind of at the end of his career, in my personal opinion, number one. Number two, is BJ Penn really a 170-pounder? I mean, come on. Now, look, I give, Diaz his props for that fight, and that's fine. But that's different than what Carlos Condit has been able to do, the 170-pound division, okay? You look at it, Stun Gun, okay? I mean, look at that right there. Stun Gun was beating all kinds of people, including Nate Diaz, okay? And then look at Ellenberger. Ellenberger took out Shields. And again, Shields was a guy that was on this big streak until he hit the UFC and stuff like that. So, we're not doing MMA math here, but I'm just telling you, there's some things to think about. Carlos Condit is a much more proven commodity in the UFC at 170, in my personal opinion. I do think at the end of the day, though, that cardio and the experience that Nick Diaz has in the boxing is going to be very, very helpful. And I think that if the fight goes late, it's going to be Nick Diaz's type of environment that he wants. I do think that Carlos Condit has more power. So that may evidence itself. So we're just going to have to see what goes down here. It's going to be very interesting. I do like Nick Diaz in this fight. At the same time, I think Carlos Condit is extremely live, and I think anything can happen. So we're going to find out. But I'm picking Nick Diaz. What do you think about this? You tell me what's up. Give me the comments below. Please subscribe above. I'm John D. Villarreal, the 4-time national champion. And also let me know if you like or dislike this video. You're watching Conservative Media. We'll see you next time.